Hello and welcome to Real Watchers Movie Club. My name is Garrett,
And I'm Kevin.
and we're your hosts. Movie Club is a show where we talk about a movie every week and discuss it just like a book club. On today's show, we are covering the cult classic comedy, The Big Lebowski. Our thoughts and more coming up on Movie Club. Released in 1998, The Big Lebowski was directed by Ethan and Joel Cohen and stars Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, and Julianne Moore. Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski, a Los Angeles slacker who only wants to bowl and drink White Russians, is mistaken for another Jeffrey Lebowski, a wheelchair-bound millionaire, and finds himself dragged into a series of events including nihilists, adult film producers, ferrets, missing toes, and large sums of money. It is currently ranked 216 on IMDb's Top 250, and it currently has a 4.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Before we dive into our thoughts, though, we do want to issue a spoiler warning for the film. We are going to be discussing plot points, twists, funny moments, and all that here on the show. If you haven't seen the film yet, you can go ahead and find it. I want to say it is available on Amazon Prime as of the time of this recording, if you want to check it out. And then stay tuned to the end of the show to find out what movie we're covering next week, because it's a real change of pace. All right, Kevin, so The Big Lebowski is this week's film, and this, I believe, let me just double check here.
That was me.
Yeah, it was your choice. So before we dive into what we feel about the film, what made you pick it, and had you heard of it before? Like, what was the decision-making framework?
The decision making for this was I have heard of this movie, and I heard it's a comedy that a lot of people enjoy watching, and so that's exactly why I picked it. It was on here. I've always heard things about The Big Lebowski, but I have never seen it before.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen this movie a lot of times. I remember first watching it in high school because it was brought up in like a film class that I was taking, and wanted to check it out. And I remember at the time, as a youngin', I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was one of the funniest things ever because it was cool to think it was funny. And then, like, it's one of those things where I've seen it a lot of times since, and kind of as we'll get into how we feel about the film here, I feel like every time I watch this movie, I like it less.
Yeah, okay.
And I feel like my score kind of goes down every time I watch it. But I'm very curious to hear what you have to say about it for a first-time viewer.
Yeah, so first time for me, and then again, this is my own opinion. I'm so sorry if this is your favorite movie, but my first thing is this is a big letdown for me. I've heard nothing but good, funny things about this movie, and it just did not catch my funny bug or hit my funny bone or anything like that, but I did not think this was funny. Yes, the characters are funny in a way, but the comedy did not grasp me in and make me laugh out loud.
Yeah, and I can completely understand that. And I think that, one of my biggest critiques about the film has to do with the fact that, it's got great characters, but it doesn't necessarily have kind of a through line for them, right? So, but let's go ahead and jump into it. And I do want to talk about characters first, because I think characters is probably where this movie is at its strongest.
Yes.
I mean, the dude, man, the dude abides.
He's just a vibe. That's what he is, and I'm so down with this character. Like the way what's his name? Is it Segura? It's not Segura. Who's the actor?
Jeff Bridges.
Bridges plays him so perfectly, though, because he doesn't. Sometimes characters, when they get into comedy roles, kind of change emotions the entire time through the movie. This one, the same. You get the same dude from the beginning to the same dude from the end, and I absolutely love that about him. And even his friends, like, I know they're not a really big part of the story, especially a spoiler alert, the one that has the heart attack at the end is
Donnie.
not a really big. Yeah, but I was like, oh my gosh, I really enjoy his friends, because they're just like a bunch of hooligans that have gone older, and then have really no one else to hang out with. Like, that's what I feel like they are. And I thought that was this great friendship kind of movie, and everybody played their role, especially the veteran too was really
John
funny
Goodman.
to me.
Walter. And I think that's really, again, that's where the film succeeds. It's putting characters that are well performed, and I would say well written too,
Mhm.
into situations. And I think that and that becomes like a situational comedy, right? Like you like the character and
Yeah.
you want to see what they do next, right? Obviously Jeff Bridges is iconic as
Mhm.
Jeff Lebowski, the dude here. I started drinking White Russians because of this movie. I will admit it. White Russians are delicious. Um, and I think that, like, John Goodman as Walter Sobchak is iconic as well.
Mhm.
Like whenever he pulls the pistol out, you're entering into a world of pain. And
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
so
Well,
like,
even you're gonna put his foot crossed the line. No, don't pull out the gun. His foot crossed the line. I'll make it a 0. It's like,
like,
I was like, that was funny to me because it's like he's taking this bowling game way too seriously. Like those
yeah,
parts I absolutely loved.
it's a totally identifiable and relatable thing though, because like we all take our hobbies seriously. Like I want to yell at the kids in the theater who are talking when I go to see a movie. Like I get it. Like,
Mhm.
I understand. Um,
Mhm.
but I would say, like, outside of those core three characters with the dude and Walter and Donnie, like the Jesus character, the bowler, he's it's a
I
weird, funny addition. Like,
I
but like,
wish I wish we had more of the bowling scenes. Like
yeah,
I think that would have made this such a better movie for me because yeah, Jesus comes in and he's like he talks all this shit and we never get to see anything about it. So it's like I don't give a shit about this character.
yeah,
Like who and oh the other funniest thing was what's it's not Donnie. Who's the other guy, the veteran again?
Walter.
Walter being Jewish, even though he's divorced 5 years. And they have that whole
It's-
talk in the car about it. I thought that was hilarious too. I'm like, I didn't understand it, and I was like, oh wait, yeah, he's divorced. Does that make him truly Jewish anymore? Or
yeah.
so?
And what's really
But
funny too is the scene that I always think about with this movie is when they're on the cliff with doing Donnie's
oh
funeral,
my
so to speak,
god.
and just dumps out the ashes, and it just gets all over Jeff, which is, oh man,
Mhm.
is a hysterical
See,
scene.
like,
But that leads to a
mhm,
great character moment too, where, like, you know the dude is just an easygoing guy, and then he's like actually at his wits end, and we kind of see
mhm,
Walter kind of retreat into himself a little bit, and I think that
yeah,
that's kind of a unique character moment. The biggest problem though is that I would say this movie has too many characters. you
I
know
I would agree with you because apart from the three main characters, or like even oh, what's the guy that has a heart attack name? I forget his name. Bobby?
Donnie.
No, Johnny. Um,
Donnie with
he,
a D.
oh, Donnie. So sorry, Donnie. But aside from those three, I could give two shits about any of the other characters.
Yeah,
Like
and and
I couldn't
yeah,
tell you their names.
I have seen this movie probably about 8 times, and I can't really tell you. And I know the other Jeff Lebowski, the rich dude, you know, and
Well, they made
Jesus,
that one easy.
and we know Jesus because he's in the movie the
He
least, and we know him.
Yeah, because he had such an impact, dude. We're like, there's this guy who also cares about bowling, but it's like they don't emphasize why or who wins the tournament. Do they win? We don't know.
Yeah,
Like, there's so many loose ends that I think I would have liked to kind of get picked back up a little bit, and probably would have made it a little bit better of a movie for me.
yeah, and I'm not really a fan of the whole, like, side story regarding Julianne Moore's character, who's the daughter of the Big
The
Lebowski.
Yeah, the
She's the
artist.
artist.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, didn't give two shits about that.
can't stand the way she talks. I don't know why. Like, just does not allow anyone else to speak, which is a huge pet peeve of mine. Um, and like the problem with this movie is that I think a lot of people remember this movie because of its iconic moments, right?
Hmm.
And I think that it has great scenes and it has great sequences, but it's not like
Mhm.
when you put it all together and you have to write something to carry it all through, it doesn't quite work. And
No.
like everything that goes on with the Big Lebowski and his missing wife and and her toe, and I just don't care. I want to see more of the dude and his friends bowling and just
Oh.
hanging out and encountering,
Mhm.
like, you could have the movie encountering all these weird people in LA, or yeah, LA, and like it would be a funny movie, I'm sure. And not that this movie isn't funny, it is, but it's
Mhm.
but it's only because of those moments when they're together,
I think I
or
think
some
it
dialogue,
would.
right? Like it really tied the room
Mhm.
together with the rug, like that. It's an iconic line, but
Yeah, his
again,
his rug is all he cared about in this movie. It was really. I was like, okay, it's just a rug, dude. Like I get it. It brings the room together, but it's like you can buy another one, I guess. But I don't know. I wish it would have been set in the bowling alley the entire time, maybe.
but
And
it's the
since
principle,
like
man. It tied the room together.
yeah,
just, I'm just messing with you.
but but it's just like I would have liked to seen that because it's like they know the bowling alley more than probably the bad guys do or something, and could have made it like a comedy action movie in that aspect of it. And you could have still had the same characters, just it's just not. It's too big of a world, I think, for these three characters.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's just, what's the word I'm looking for? When it's not dealing with the characters that you love, it's boring. Even though it
Yeah,
has some
exactly.
funny and awkward moments here and there, it's just boring. Like, why do I care about the nihilists? Why do I care
Hmm.
about Bunny's missing toe? Like, I just don't care. I want to
But it
see.
wasn't Bunny. But it wasn't Bunny's missing toe. It was just some random other person's missing toe because we see it in the diner, I think it is.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, why did she give them the toe? What was the reason for that? Like, it
yeah.
doesn't. Too many loose ends. Too many loose ends.
I think that it can really be boiled down to the fact that this movie really just doesn't have a point.
No.
Like, there's no, like, why does this movie exist? Like, is it just to
Mm-hmm.
be funny? Is it to do a slice of life? Is it to take a character who's so out of his depth into a situation like that can be fine, but it feels pointless, and it's like, why am I watching this at some points? Again, what
Mm-hmm.
saves it is very good character acting from the main three people, and they are legitimately funny when they're together,
Mm-hmm.
and their conversations are funny, and I always forget, I should mention this. Sam Elliott as the stranger is also fantastic. I want a cowboy to show up and give me some life lessons over some sarsaparilla any day, you know
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
again, it's iconic moments in a movie that's held together by, like, scotch tape.
Great.
Eh, like,
Oh,
it's not.
not even. It's not even like double-sided Scotch tape. It's just like the cheap like Dollar Tree Scotch tape that it's like not see-through or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's barely hanging on.
and
And you
also,
might be missing a roll in the package too.
yeah, and also it's too long. This movie is
I did
almost two
not.
hours long.
It see, I didn't feel like it was too long, but they definitely could have cut some shit out of it, and it would have been a little bit better. But
I would have rather had an hour and a half movie that's a comedy about these three guys doing bowling and going through their league, and
mhm.
maybe there's a crime that happens somewhere in there, but like, just everything involving the Big Lebowski, who's the rich guy, and the nihilists and the artist's
couldn't
daughter. I just could not care less.
exactly, and unfortunately, because if again, I'm trying to think of like other funny moments that don't have the three main characters in it, and I truly cannot remember a funny moment from another character, like when they're sitting at the freaking bowling alley, and I think it's like the first time we see him, and it's like, what you guys talking about? Oh, Donnie, it doesn't involve you. Yeah, but what? Oh, okay. I would do this, and it's like, Donnie, shut up. We're not talking
Shut
to
up,
you.
Donnie. You're out of your element.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm like, dude, that was hilarious because he just puts himself into the conversation. It's so good.
And yet he's just but he's one of the friends. But like he's not
Yeah, he's
really
one of the
like.
friends. And then
Uh,
another one is when they're in the car together, gonna drop off the ransom money, and the Big Lebowski answers the phone. He goes, "Are you alone?" He goes, "What did he ask?" And it's like, he asked if I was alone. Shit. It's like his character would do that though, so that's why I was like, dude, that's real good right there.
yeah, again, it's just it's moments, and good moments and good sequences do not make a good movie if the whole rest of it just kind of feels unnecessary and kind of out of left field. It's really hard for me to feel like these are the same directors that made Fargo.
Mm-hmm. And
These are
Fargo
the same directors that did No Country for Old Men. Like I can't see how, and that's one of the things that just kind of drives me crazy.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, I will say it's made very well. It's shot very well. Like the
like
actual
everything is good throughout this movie. Like, I'm not saying like the cinematography is bad, but the story wise of what it's trying to maybe make the watchers see just doesn't come through the TV. It's like, oh, we have an action comedy movie, but we want to lean towards more comedy than action.
it's not even an
And
action movie. I would say it's like a crime comedy.
Crime.
Yeah,
Crime.
there's not a lot of explosions or anything like that, or like chase sequences. It's more just like,
That's true.
go pick up the money. Oh, it went wrong. How could you? Like, yeah,
But
it's just all right at the best.
it's
I
just
think.
and I think if it would have leaned one way or another, as like having maybe crime drama funny moments, or just go full on comedy like Naked Gun, I think
Yeah,
I think it would have been a little bit better. Granted, I haven't seen Naked Gun, but I've heard it's very good. So
sure. And I think that this kind of feels like directors who like Fargo had funny moments to it, but it wasn't a comedy
no,
by any
no, it
means.
wasn't. But
This kind of feels like they're trying to go that route, and it just didn't really work for them.
exactly.
All right, Kevin. So this was your choice this week. Why don't you go ahead and lead us off with your final thoughts and score?
My final thoughts and score is I wish this was a more comedic relief movie than what I got on my screen. Unfortunately, three main characters are absolutely fantastic and they kill it in these roles, but everything else just falls away to the side. Unfortunately, wish it would have just been the three main characters going through a bowling tournament, and I think it would have been a little bit better. But I gave it a 40 out of 100, which is cumulative to 2 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Well, there you go. For me, I said that this movie thrives on its characters and puts them into the craziest situations. I would say that those characters are often the funniest part of the movie, and then anything else that's not involving them just happens to suffer. But this movie is funny because of its characters being in those situations, and not because of the situations or plot itself. I think that the story is a little aimless, and it just doesn't really go anywhere, and it doesn't feel necessary, which is one of those crazy things. But I will say that the movie does earn more points with me because of its character acting and the writing for those characters. And so for me, I gave the film a 69 out of 100, and that's equivalent to 3 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd. But that, of course, is going to wrap up this week's episode. Question now falls to you. What do you think of The Big Lebowski? We'd love to hear what you have to say down in the comment section down below. Don't skimp on letting us know if you hate our opinions or not. But remember to be respectful of one another. You don't want anyone to come at you like a gang of nihilists. But next week, really excited. We're going to be covering the anime classic Millennium Actress, which I'm super excited about. I haven't seen, and I don't think Kevin has either. So make sure to watch it before next week so you're not spoiled. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, we have this show that goes live every single Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we also have our weekly live stream every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do movie news, reviews, and so much more. And of course, make sure you subscribe because we have a bunch of videos and top 10 videos that are in the pipeline. We'd love to have you here to see them when they come out. But thank you. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep those eyes on the screen.